After respawning, Sister Hai found Shadow outside the bunker. Amazed and confused, she asked how the blood slaughterhouse had suddenly become his property during her short absence. She asked about the unlucky Aegyong. Shadow quickly cut her off, warning her not to say his name to avoid more bad luck. Shadow tossed a golden key to an ecstatic Sister Hai. He explained he had reached his hideout limit, so he was giving this one to her and the Nanyu officials. Overjoyed, Sister Hai excitedly promised to treat him to tea. Shadow ruined her excitement, clarifying it was not free. He expected a payment of 1,500 years of lifespan once they collected it. Sister Hai cried comedic tears over the high price but still thanked him. The female official, a wisp of smoke, ran toward them and called out to Shadow. She thanked Shadow for his help and gave him a glowing blue skill book as a reward. It was Nanyu's best assassin skill. She had brought it herself and exiled Aegyong to the border, knowing Shadow disliked him. The system showed the gold tier skill, Shield of Shadow Dance. It granted damage immunity shields equal to the user's stealth level upon entering stealth, with a 5-minute cooldown. Shadow was pleased, knowing damage immunity was like temporary invincibility. This ability would be crucial against bosses, whose attacks bypassed his huge lifesteal shields. Shadow used his system to spend evolution points, upgrading the skill book from gold to epic tier. This dropped its cooldown to just over 20 seconds. Shadow activated the skill and a blue aura surrounded him. His level 21 stealth granted him 21 layers of damage immunity, making it perfect against heavy-hitting enemies. A wisp of smoke pointed out that Zentil and the War God Guild had escaped. She worried this would make the enemies more careful and deadly. She complained that the peace-loving Nanyu players hated stressful conflicts. She imagined a dark future, forcing laid-back Nanyu players into an endless cycle of fighting monsters 6 days a week just to survive. This intense grinding lifestyle panicked Sister Hai. She screamed she would rather die than lose her 3 p.m. tea time, while the official cried over their lost peace. Watching them cry about working hard, Shadow remembered a past life secret. Nanyu players could relax in the apocalypse because they had the most powerful hidden classes. If they were not so lazy, they would be the strongest region. Shadow calmed them down, promising to stay in Nanyu until he caught Zentil. While there, he would help them boost their combat strength to defend themselves. Sister Hai and a wisp of smoke silently celebrated. The official smugly thought that even Shadow could not handle crying women, proving their fake sadness had worked to get his help. The women cheered and thanked Shadow. They asked about teaming up for bosses, while shamelessly setting their lazy work hours, 9 to 6 with a tea break, plus weekends and holidays off. Speechless at their laziness, Shadow just told them to form a party so he could level them up. He also ordered their subordinates to scout for bosses ranked Emerald tier or higher. The girls celebrated, thrilled that a top-tier player would do the hard work while they enjoyed an easy game. Shadow summoned his skeletal dragon, Osiris, who grabbed the women as they took flight. A wisp of smoke reported an Emerald tier boss, the highly toxic Black Fish King. It hid under black water slime, making it immune to ranged attacks. Shadow told them to guide him there and alert him about Zentil's movements. They arrived at a calm riverbank near a ruined city and a dense forest. At the river, Shadow was confused to see Sister Hai casually fishing. He asked what she was doing instead of preparing to fight. Sister Hai shushed him, explaining the boss had to be lured out by fishing. She warned him that if its health dropped below 30%, it dived back in to heal quickly, making it very hard to kill. A wisp of smoke suggested Shadow clear low-level monsters first to build energy for his big attacks. Shadow was surprised she knew about his energy-gathering mechanics. Blushing, the official admitted she was his huge fan. She showed her phone, revealing a secret photo of Shadow as her lock screen, and said she had watched his boss fights hundreds of times. Shadow stared at the lock screen, speechless at her obsessive behavior. Large frog monsters interrupted them. A wisp of smoke asked if he wanted to use them to stack combo energy, and Shadow agreed. Shadow attacked, launching shadow blades that sliced into the frogs. The attack instantly killed the monsters. A wisp of smoke noted his damage was too high for combos. Shadow sighed, realizing his slow, powerful attacks killed enemies before he could build up enough energy. Seeing him struggle, a wisp of smoke offered help. She summoned a glowing golden figure and asked if Shadow wanted to try her special buff to fix his energy problem. Shadow looked confused, asking what kind of weird technique she meant. Glowing purple, the official revealed her hidden class, a succubus witch specializing in curses. Her ultimate skill reduced a target's stats by 80% without combo energy, but she added a suspicious condition. They had to be completely alone in private for the long casting time. Blushing and leaning in, she boldly told Shadow she only wanted to use this intimate technique on him, asking if he agreed. Uninterested, Shadow flatly rejected her and walked away, leaving her disappointed. Shadow declared he had his own way to gather energy. He commanded his dragon, Osiris, to group up all the remaining monsters. Osiris took flight and created a dark magic vortex, sweeping the frog monsters into the air. The dark storm trapped the monsters in a dense sphere of purple energy. A wisp of smoke stared in awe at the power. With the targets grouped together, Shadow leapt into the sky. Mid-air below the monsters, Shadow unleashed Dark Night Ring Blade. A massive circular wave of red energy sliced through the trapped enemies. The official was stunned by the massive damage numbers, screaming that there were too many zeros to count. She shouted excitedly when Shadow landed. With his combo energy maxed out, Shadow announced he was ready. He asked Sister Hai if the boss had taken the bait. Sister Hai's fishing rod suddenly bent. Struggling against the pull, she yelled that the fish was hooked. With a mighty pull, Sister Hai pulled a giant, dark-scaled fish out of the water, shouting her guild's catchphrase. The level 20 emerald-grade highly toxic black fish king loomed over them with glowing red eyes. Sister Hai quickly backed away, leaving the fight to Shadow. Shadow locked onto the boss and prepared his strike. Shadow used his ultimate skill, Crimson Blade. A huge red slash hit the fish, dealing 40,000 damage. But Shadow sensed something was wrong. Analyzing the combat data, Shadow realized his ultimate was severely weakened because the monster had a 90% damage reduction from its thick slime armor. He concluded that if his attack could not one-shot the boss, he could not stop it from escaping back into the river when its health hit 30%. Standing on the highly toxic Black Fish King, Shadow realized its slime coating gave it a 90% damage reduction. If he couldn't kill it in one hit before its health dropped to 30%, it would easily escape. The giant beast roared, pulling its head back to spit a dark, poisonous liquid. The monster used its rotten mud attack, sending a wave of toxic sludge toward the riverbank. Sister Hai and the official ran away in panic, knowing the poison was deadly. Ignoring this, Shadow summoned multiple golden orbs around him, each holding a Shadow clone ready to strike. In a flash of blue light, Shadow and his clones used instant Shadow Slash, hitting the beast's throat and dealing heavy damage. Shadow landed on the muddy bank. He initially wanted to kill the boss in one hit, but decided this was a good chance to test something else. His eye glowed with purple light as dark energy surrounded him. It was the perfect time to try his new finishing move. Shadow activated his Endless Nightmare ultimate, covering the fish in purple flames. This skill made enemies build up a nightmare gauge every second, with his attacks adding even more to the meter. Radiating a purple aura, Shadow controlled the dark spell. The skill gave an 80% damage boost. Once the nightmare gauge reached 100, the enemy entered a nightmare state. In this state, monsters fell into a deep sleep. The true power was the eye-breaking strike. The next attack that woke them would deal triple damage. With the boss trapped in the nightmare, Shadow delivered another instant Shadow Slash to its throat. The critical hit caused an icy blue explosion, and Shadow dashed back to avoid the blast. The system confirmed the emerald-grade boss was dead. Shadow earned experience, evolution points, extra lifespan, and more nightmare resistance. Sister Hai and the official cheered, amazed he killed it without letting it escape. As Shadow checked his loot, he saw evolution points and equipment. But one drop caught his eye, a glowing blue treasure map. The map showed a star-marked chest, revealing the location of a legendary secret treasure hidden in the forest near Zhonghai City. Zhonghai City was too far away for Shadow to visit. Instead of giving up, he sent the map to a trusted ally back home, knowing her natural good luck was perfect for a treasure hunt. Shadow gifted the remaining loot to his companions. Sister Hai cheered but noted it was almost time to go home. Ignoring them, Shadow insisted they still had 30 minutes to hunt 2 more bosses. Meanwhile, in the forest near Zhonghai City, a horned demon monster slept on a thick branch. Below, a small group of riders moved through the woods, their quiet trip broken by loud crunching noises. Wang Meng checked the map Shadow sent, confirming they were close to the treasure. Captain An Yu advised caution, since they didn't know what monsters hid in the woods. The loud crunching sounds continued, making both Wang Meng and An Yu annoyed. They turned to find the noise. Little Black and her alpaca mount were happily eating crackers. A frustrated Wang Meng scolded Little Black, warning that her loud eating would attract monsters and complaining she was treating the dangerous trip like a picnic. High above, the noise woke the sleeping demon monster. Unaware of the danger, Little Black explained to Wang Meng that her good luck had been failing, so she was trying to fix it. She showed the crackers to her friends, claiming they weren't normal snacks. She bought them from a mysterious merchant in a cleared dungeon. The merchant said the snacks were rare treasures from another world that brought good luck. She eagerly offered them to her friends. Captain An Yu chuckled, finding her belief adorable. Wang Meng, already eating a cracker himself, told An Yu not to laugh, admitting they were very delicious. Annoyed that her friends doubted her, a pouting Little Black stuffed another cracker into her mouth and kept crunching loudly. That final crunch was enough. The massive creature sleeping above suddenly leapt off the branch. With an angry roar, the giant demon monster dropped straight down toward the group. The beast slammed its fists into the ground. Luckily, the group managed to scatter and dodge the impact just in time. As the dust cleared, the system showed a level 18 emerald-grade boss, the ferocious ape. Looking at the monster, Wang Meng panicked, certain they would die. The ferocious ape roared, its red eyes locking onto the source of the noise. Ignoring the others, the giant ape reached for Little Black. Before she could react, the beast grabbed Little Black and her alpaca. It violently threw them deep into the forest. Wang Meng and Captain Anu watched in shock as their friend was thrown far into the night sky. To their surprise, instead of attacking the rest of the party, the ferocious ape simply swung away into the trees. A stunned Wang Meng asked why the boss spared them. And you guessed it, only woke up from the noise, threw Little Black away, and lost interest. While Little Black and her alpaca flew through the air, her friends finally snapped out of their shock and hurried to find her. The pair fell down a dark pit hidden in the forest, crashing through thick vines on their way down. Her alpaca got tangled in the vines above, but Little Black kept falling and landed on the hard dirt floor. Sitting up, Little Black felt relieved that the vines broke her fall. Still, she complained about her bad luck, doubting if her magical snacks worked. Suddenly, a bright light caught her eye. She turned and saw a glowing purple treasure chest with a star emblem. Ecstatic, Little Black realized the chest matched their map perfectly. She shouted in excitement, certain she had found the legendary treasure. Cheering, she ran to open the chest, ignoring her alpaca struggling in the vines above. Just as she reached the chest, the alpaca's struggles snapped its cracker necklace. The crackers rained down, bouncing off Little Black and scattering over the chest. As the snacks hit the chest, its star emblem flashed, eyes opened on the wood, and it began to growl. The chest snapped open, revealing sharp teeth and a huge tongue. A system alert identified it as a level 20 emerald-grade boss, the Greedy Devourer. Screaming in terror, Little Black backed away, realizing the legendary treasure was a deadly monster. Paralyzed on the ground, she realized that if the snacks hadn't triggered it early, she would have been eaten when she opened it. Watching the monster happily eat the crackers, Little Black felt relieved. She concluded the merchant didn't lie. The snacks really did bring good luck and saved her life. Her relief faded as she realized she had no chance against the boss alone. Wasting no time, she quickly decided to summon Shadow for backup.